all, hopefully you are well. Let's wait for our colleagues to join.
Okay.
Laura, can I hear from you? So let's wait for around the 4 minutes for our colleagues to join, and then we get started. Good afternoon, Christabel. How are you, Esther? Esther, Christabel, say hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Christabel. Again, you can't hear us?
I can hear you, sir.
That's very good today. How are we doing?
Very fine.
Very fine. Yes. Kyle, you are the one to remind us what we left pending in the past lesson.
Okay. Taking care of ICT tools.
Yes.
Yes.
And we left something to do with, let me show my screen. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Can you? Okay. So I remember I left you with an activity to do with the user guides or user manual. I received Esther's work. Esther, did you get your results? Esther, let's please unmute our microphones. Esther, please unmute.
Yes, Miss Teacher.
Did you get your results?
Yes.
Okay. And you saw my comments? Esther, did you see my comments? Kyle, I didn't see your ICT work.
I texted on the messages, I texted you that I could not find any manuals and asked you if I could send you pictures of my manuals that is on the internet.
And I responded.
Yes, you said just do the assignment that's on the site.
Yes, so on the site here, we have a manual. Did you see the manual here? The manual is here. You can see my screen?
Yes, hold on.
Yes,
Yes, I can see it.
yes. This is the one I told you to use. Since you couldn't find yours, so you could actually use this one on the site. For Esther, handle the one of, okay, Esther, could you share with us the activity you did and how you did it? Esther? Esther, could you please unmute and you communicate to us? Esther, are you on your device? Laura, could you please unmute? Laura, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, teacher.
I didn't see your work.
I've done part of it, but I'm not yet on the assignment.
Christabel, I haven't seen your work.
So I had problems with logging in. So now some teacher helped me now. I think so I'll do it today, the work.
Actually, I'm the one who helped you. So I don't want excuses that you are not accessing the site. And I think Laura, you are also okay, isn't it?
Yes.
So members, we need to be really serious so that we are moving forward. Because if you don't submit work, it's like we are not understanding or like you are not embracing the system well. Because I need to see work being submitted, I mark, I give results again. Because when I checked on those who submitted assignments, I didn't see them. I saw the work of Esther. Esther handled this part of, she handled this activity, 1.8, which she scored good. Then for part of manual, Esther, you didn't do it well. You needed to continue and make sure that that part of the manuals is well conducted. Laura, do you have those user guides at home, the manuals for TV, for phones, for ovens, anything for maybe a
Yes.
fan? Yes, get one and you attempt this activity, 1.9. At least all of us, let's submit activity 1.9. Activity 1.9.
Okay.
So, Kyle, have you got any around the home?
Yes.
Have you got any around the home?
No, I failed to find some.
Okay, then study the one on the site and then you respond to that. Then I have not seen any of you attempting this assignment. But we need to continue and go to chapter 2. But we haven't completed chapter 1 properly. Because for us to go to chapter 2, we must complete all the activities in chapter 1, and then also the last assignment here. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Yes. So I would suggest that at least let's mind about these activities, because my request is that if you don't have a class, please go on the site, make sure that you have attempted all the assignments that teachers give you. It's better, like now you are in class, you write down ICT teacher told us this, this, and that, so that you don't forget, you go on the site, do it, submit the next lesson like that. Because I think it is not helpful when we are conducting lessons after the other, and yet this side the activities are not being done. In case you are having challenges, please, I remember in the morning sending messages to all groups, asking them any challenge on the site. If you are not accessing a course, please tell us. If you're having problems with the password, tell us. Now I haven't seen work because I was supposed to share. We were supposed to share the work that you submitted in today's lesson. We were supposed to share how you handled this activity, how the other one handled that activity, so that we are getting to know what we are all doing. Now, if I add more work, it may not make sense because we haven't completed the first work, first of all. May I know in case one has a challenge?
Yes, I have one.
Yes.
I saw that you sent Kiswahili, a Kiswahili course. Yes, but
Yes.
the content is in Kiswahili and I cannot really understand most of it.
Yeah, it is Kiswahili. We can't have Kiswahili in English. So the teacher of Kiswahili is going to help you understand Kiswahili. Is that okay?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Is Kiswahili compulsory?
Yes, Kiswahili is compulsory. Who is asking? Is it Laura or Christabel?
It's me, Christabel.
Oh, Kiswahili is compulsory. We must all do it. Whichever school you are studying from, and when that you are on Yaka, it is also compulsory. It is compulsory in the whole country, in other words. You get the point? Yes? Maybe some of us, we are not aware of the subjects we are supposed to do. Let me also brief you, since we are all in senior 1. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now, all of us must do English, all of us must do math, all of us must do history and political education, all of us must do geography, all of us must do physics, all of us must do chemistry, all of us must do biology, all of us must do entrepreneurship, all of us must do Kiswahili, all of us must do physical education, all of us must do CRE. Do you see those 11 subjects?
Yes.
Those are the compulsory subjects in senior 1, compulsory. But then you must add on another subject to make them 12. You must add on another subject to make them 12. And which subject is that? So you, as a learner, now you will choose to do the following. At Yaka, we are now handling agriculture, art and design. Then we have ICT. Those are 3 subjects. You see that?
Yes.
Yes. So now those 3 subjects, at least you can decide to say let me do ICT only, let me do agriculture, or let me go with fine art. But if you want, you can study all of them. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. So at least I expect you to do a minimum of 12 subjects. But if you want to do more, but at least don't go below 12 subjects. Because I'm sure that now we are almost learning these subjects, except physical education, where you don't have a teacher, but I'm sure you have work on the site, isn't it? When you search, you have
Yes.
physical education. Yes. So all these subjects, we are studying them in senior one, in addition to ICT, agriculture, entrepreneurship. So even art and design, all of them now, you are studying them. So utilize that chance, utilize the available teachers, utilize the content on the site, attempt different assignments that teachers give so that you are progressing. Any other question?
Okay. No.
Any other question? And we continue with ICT.
Yes, teacher.
Mm,
Teacher,
mm.
are they going to promote us to the next class?
We are going to promote you to the next class on condition that you have completed all assignments. Make sure that all assignments in each chapter is completed or are completed. You get? So if, for example, here, activity of integration,
Yes.
this is a chapter, I mean, this is activity that is completing chapter 1. So if you do this, you submit, it is out of 20 marks. Even chapter 2 like that, chapter 3, until when you finish all the assignments in senior 1, you will be graded and promoted to senior 2. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
We cannot promote
Yes.
you when you are not doing assignments, when you are not doing activities. And I encourage all of you to use the system because the results remain permanent on the system. Sending work on mail is not helpful because anytime you may lose it, you get, and you may not clearly know where the results are. Because I'm sure when you got your messages, you are able to see all the results that you receive. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. So, Kyra, I saw this assignment. I'm going to mark it, but let's separate class activity and assignments. I repeat this. Class activities, like if I leave an activity in our work here, where we have activity 1 point this, activity this, those are the ones you send to teachers as messages. Kyle, are you getting the point?
Yes.
Yes, where we have activity this, or the teacher who was teaching and leaves you with an activity, submit it as a message. Submit it as a message. Then the activities here at the end of that chapter here, these ones are submitted from there, and then this one is submitted from here. You get, you start assignment, then here you upload the file that you have done. Either it is in Word document, or you've written down on your books and you would like to take a picture. So select that file from here. So you select, maybe you go to your desktop and pick that work. Say you've called it assignment 1. It comes here. So here you can describe it. You say, teacher, here is the assignment at the end of chapter 1, you submit. Teacher will mark and grade you. You will get your results in the other part of messages. But don't copy this, then
Thank you.
you go to messages and do it from there. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, because these activities are submitted somewhere in the system, and then class activity, you should submit it in messages. Hopefully my message is clear to you all. So
It
if you
is,
want,
teacher.
if you want to be promoted from one level to another, please do all the assignments within your units, do all your assignments within your subjects. So, and again, when you look at these activities, if I leave an activity and I say, let each of us, for example, using a user manual from any new ICT device or provided by the teacher, identify the ICT for which the user manual is made, summarize contents of the user manual, including the safety precautions therein. So if I leave this, I have a sheet here where I keep recording your activities. Esther submitted work today and at least got 10 out of 10 in the assignment. So we add class activity assignments and then the assignments at the end of the unit to know that you are able to go to another level. Is that okay? So let's take activities serious. And please, where you get a challenge, put in the group and we communicate. So I can say we have completed chapter 1. So you to complete chapter 1, you must read through, attempt the activities, submit them, even the assignments, I mark them, I record your results. So for today, let's look at chapter 2. Kyle, is it okay we go to chapter 2?
Yes.
Esther, is it okay we go to chapter 2?
Yes.
Laura, is it okay we go to chapter 2? Okay. Christabel, is it okay we go to chapter 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully all of you have promised me you will submit the assignments for further review and grading. So chapter 2 is here. It lies in term 2. So here is chapter 2. It says computer hardware and system startup. So briefly, we are going to watch this video together and then we continue. Let me first stop sharing. I share again. Is the screen clear?
Hiba,
Christabel mute.
Anna, is it you watching?
Christabel mute. Okay.
Hardware is an umbrella term, with countless bits and pieces falling into the category. If you can touch it, it's a piece of hardware. In computer technology, of course. Computer hardware generally refers to the physical components of a computer, unlike software, which is intangible sets of instructions. Software tells hardware what to do, and hardware makes it happen. If you were a computer, your thoughts would be software, and your brain would be the hardware, the middleman between the instruction and an action. Usually, computer hardware is categorized as either internal components, like a motherboard, CPU, RAM, and GPU, or as an external component, like a mouse, keyboard, camera, or memory card. And while hardware is defined as a physical, tangible resource, it can be virtualized, meaning a hypervisor creates virtual versions of internal hardware to share resources. This is usually associated with infrastructure as a service.
Kyle, what have you got from the video?
I've understood the difference between hardware and software.
Yes, that it is what?
Hardware is the external physical part of the computer which you can see and touch, like the keyboard or the trackpad or the mouse or the monitor, sorry.
Yes.
Meanwhile, the software is the internal part, which you can also see, but you'll have to take apart the computer. That kind
Yes.
the internal parts are motherboard, memory card, and CPU.
Okay, thank you. Esther, what have you got from the video? Esther,
Yes, Mr. Teacher.
what have you got from the video?
Hardware is hardware are the physical components of a computer.
Yes. Christabel? Christabel?
Yes, teacher.
What have you got from the video?
Teacher, I'm sorry, I don't understand anything.
Laura, so then you will understand in the next video. Laura?
I understood that hardware is the part of the computer which you can touch, while the software of the computer is part of the computer which you cannot touch.
It's important to understand the boot process because it provides several key pieces of forensic information and allows you,
And sorry about that. Who is remaining? So today some didn't attend. Okay, now in this topic, we are basically looking at computer hardware and system startup. You have described what hardware is, the physical, tangible parts of a computer. You have identified some of them, and then we need to see how to start your computer. How to start your computer. Kai, no, let me pick Laura. Could you please read the information in the table? We have keywords, and then by the end of the chapter.
Where should I read from?
This information here.
Okay. Hardware. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to know the physical devices of a computer system and how each operates. B, assemble a computer system. C, safely start and shut down a computer system. D, use computer peripheral tools. The words hardware, device, booting, peripheral.
Okay, now we want to see how you can start a computer, what happens when you are starting a computer. All this is what we want to see in this chapter. So briefly, let's have this video and then we see what happens. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now from here, we want to see when you turn on your computer, what happens for it to go on. So let's see this video, then we can proceed.
it's important to understand the boot process because it provides several key pieces of forensic information and allows you, as a forensic examiner, to control the boot process to use forensic booting tools. Let's take a look at what happens when you boot a computer. When you turn on your computer,
What has happened now? What has happened? Kyle, what has happened?
Yes, teacher.
What has happened? Like which process are we doing now? Like what has happened?
Well, we're now looking at what happens when you turn on or start up.
Laura, what have you observed? Maybe all of us didn't see it. It's simple. Now, they brought here, this is like source of power. So they have connected this computer to source of power. Did you see that? Having connected that computer to source of power, another man is now going to turn on the computer from that button. You get the process now?
Yes.
Okay, let's proceed. I'm going to repeat it from the beginning so that we can know very well. So watch every step.
Boot process because it provides several key pieces of forensic information and allows you, as a forensic examiner, to control the boot process to use forensic booting tools. Let's take a look at what happens when you boot a computer. When you turn on your computer, the power supply sends power to the motherboard, which in turn activates the boot process. The Power on Self-Test post instructions are stored in a ROM, a read-only memory chip, as part of the BIOS, or the Basic Input-Output System. The post runs through a series of tests to make sure everything is working. Most post sequences will have a combination of audible and visual messages to let you know what is and isn't working. These are the beeps that you generally hear when your computer is booting up. The post checks your video card. At that point, you will see information from the post on the screen. The post then checks to make sure it can find a CPU and that it's communicating. Then it tests your RAM. This is a very basic check of whether it can communicate with your RAM. Now it checks for keyboard and mouse. Depending upon the type of keyboard you have, you might see the keyboard's lights flash. At this point, you would normally see an indication on the screen of how you can enter the BIOS setup program on your computer. Each BIOS software vendor will have a different keystroke, but it is often either F2, F10, or the delete key. This vendor's key is F2, and we will enter BIOS setup. This is where important forensic information is stored, including date and time information and the booting order. Your computer can be set to boot from your hard drive first, or from your CD, or a USB drive, or even from the network. If you want to boot the computer with a forensic boot CD or forensic USB device, you may need to change the boot order. Lights on each drive will flash as the post checks them for booting instructions. Most computers are set up to check the optical drive first. This makes it easier to install new operating systems. Then they check the very first hard drive, drive 0. Post is looking for the master boot record. The master boot record is always at cylinder 0, head 0, and sector 1. It points to the boot sector. Finally, post is done, and the operating system takes over. It's important.
So that was the video. And I will share it with you. Then I give an activity on it. So we need to continue understanding that video, especially when the computer is starting those activities, we need to know them as computer students, so that in case you are starting a computer and it displays a message, you know clearly what brings it. So maybe before I go very far, let me write that message immediately so that we are all aware of what to do. Let me first do that. So I go to messages, new message. I look for sad. This is Kyle. Kyle sad. Your name is playing. Your name is playing. Let me look for Esther. This is Esther Kugonza. Esther. It's taking longer. But I'm going to create a group, I think. I'm going to create a group and I post it there. Let me create a group. So I will send it immediately after the lesson, that group work. So you will check under groups and find your group. Then you attempt that activity so that we are all on the same line when we talk about booting a computer. So from there, let me request Christabel to take us through introduction of this chapter. Christabel. Christabel is not hearing me.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, take us through
In this
introduction.
chapter, you will learn. Okay. In this chapter, you will learn about the physical parts of a computer and their use in everyday life. Different parts of a computer are assembled to make complete system. These parts may be manufactured by the same company or different companies. Some of the hardware parts are internal components in brackets within the system case, while others are, teacher, I cannot see this word very well.
Peripherals, or externally connected to the system case through a port. Can you now see it if we do like that? So some of the hardware parts are internal components within the system case, while others are peripherals externally connected to the system case through a port. As a computer user, you should know how to assemble the hardware parts and safely start the computer. So we have seen how to start a computer and the processes that go on. We shall continue to watch that video. So when we talk of computer hardware, you can see a set. We have printer, speakers, keyboard, mouse, the system unit, then monitor, etc. You can mention others. Now, when we talk of printer, keyboard, mouse, speakers, those are the peripheral devices. You get, when we talk of peripheral devices, we are meaning those ones. So I'm going to send you an activity about booting of a computer so that next time we meet, we are going to be summarizing what we got from that video. So go ahead, read about this chapter, read about hardware and system startup, and then we shall continue to know more about the hardware and system startup. So it is now your part to go and read from here. You also attempt this activity here. So make a table, then you put in the different hardware devices and the category where they belong. If you say screen, is it an input or output when we are talking of hardware? So go have a table and then you send it to me as a class activity in the messenger. Any questions for now?
No, teacher.
No, we have got what to do. Laura, have you got what to do?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's good. So if we have got that, let's go read through. Remember to go back to chapter 1, attempt activity on manuals, then attempt the assignment at the end of the chapter so that we continue properly with chapter 2. So you now have like 3 activities. Let's endeavor to do them so that we are moving on smoothly the way we want it. Thank you for attending the lesson. In case there are no questions, you can end from here. Okay, Esther. Yes, thank you, Laura. You're welcome. Welcome, Kyle. Host, you can stop streaming.